Welcome to the next part of this. You've made it through the first part. Hopefully you made it through the first part. And you're ready for the next part. We're going to be talking about multiplication and division. Okay? Multiplying, dividing. About what they do, how it works, when to use those things, when they work, how they work, etc., etc. Let's start with just a simple mental visual picture. How multiplication works. If I have 3 circles, and I say, I want to multiply this 3 circles. I want this 3 more times. Or let's just say 2 more times. Make it easier on ourselves. 3 circles, 2 times. 3 circles. Okay. This time, there's once, right? Here's another time. 3 circles, 2 times. 3 times 2. How many circles do you see? 6. Okay. Now, you know this. You know this. You know that this is how this works. You know that that is exactly how it works. This is so very important for when you're doing things, when you're trying to work things out. You understand the multiplication issue. Now, hold on to that. We're going to come back to that one in just a minute. But let's take a look at division. How does division work? Well, division, let's do this first. Let's put some circles up here. Okay, now how many circles do you see there? Can you count them up for me? 12 circles. Okay, so there's 12 circles. Now if I wanted to take these 12 circles and I want to divide it into 2 equal parts, right? I want to split it into 2 equal portions, right? I want to split it into 2 equal portions. You're dividing it by 2. That's what dividing by 2 does. I want to split it into 2 equal portions. So this is why this looks like this. 12 divided by 2 equals what? 6. Why? Because each individual portion has 6 in it. So if I take 12 and I say I want to split it into 2 parts, 6. This also means, let me get rid of this here. This also means, let's say instead of dividing into 2 equal portions, let's say I said I want to split it into 3 equal portions. Well, split it into 3 equal portions. I'd have to draw it this way, right? Notice 12 circles split into 3 portions equals what? Notice how much each portion has. 4, right? There's 4 circles in each one of those portions. Okay. Now this is, I don't want to press that. I wanted to press this. This might not seem like something that you go, wow, I kind of knew that already. But let me give you 2 examples where I, as your professional math explainer, your instructor, have noticed and done some mental research to figure out what is going on. Where's the confusion at? Let me give you 2 examples. The first one is this one. Let's say I had an angle. Now, if I said a bisector of an angle, okay? Bisector, to bisect, by to sect, cut, right? Bisector, to bisect an angle is, what it means is to divide it into 2 equal parts or portions. So if this entire angle right here, from here all the way over here, let's say this whole angle was 98 degrees. And I'm going to get rid of this line for just a second. Let's just get rid of it. Oh. How do I get rid of it? There we go. All right, so 98 degrees. And let's say I said I'm going to bisect this angle. Now there's 98 degrees all going across here. That's how far it's opened up. I said I'm going to bisect it. To bisect it means to divide into 2 equal parts. And so I've had questions like this. I said the whole angle is 98 degrees. You're going to bisect it. What is each one? And some of you have struggled. And the reason why you've struggled is because you've forgotten that to divide something does exactly that. So if I say I want to divide it into 2 equal parts, you're literally going to take that 98 degrees, the whole amount, and you're going to divide it into 2. Now, if you have your calculator out, 98 divided by 2, think that is 49. Trying to do that in my head. Right, 49. So notice that's what it does. Dividing by 2. I had one of you earlier this year like, well, wait a minute. So if I wanted to split it into 3 equal parts, I'd do divide by 3? Yeah. This is what division does. Okay? Division splits things into equal portions. So if I'm going to bisect something, we're going to divide it by 2. This also means if I'm going to multiply something, here's a case where multiplication becomes important. We learned that if you had a triangle, and I had the middle point on this side, and I had the middle point on this side, I had these 2 midpoints. This special segment in a triangle was called a midsegment. And a midsegment is exactly half the length of the other side that it's parallel to. So you guys are doing pretty good with that. I said, okay, so if this is 5, what's this longer one down here? Well, if it's twice as long, 5 times 2 is 10. You figured that out. Or sometimes I said, oh, let's say this is 30. I said, what's this right here? Well, if this is twice as long, you were like, oh, dividing. I want to split it into 2 equal parts, right? One of those would be 15. Okay? Say, right? But then we had some weird problems where I said this line right here is x plus 3. And this one down here, I'll use blue. This one down here is 4x plus 10. And I said solve for x. And it seems confusing. Now, you can't just go, oh, I'll just make them equal or make them equal to something else. You have to think about what's in this picture. This blue segment down here where the blue numbers are, this is exactly 2 times bigger than this one. So if I wanted to make them equal, if I want to balance this out, so if I wanted to put the 4x plus 10 on one side, and I wanted to put the x plus 3 on the other side, this would not be equal because this is not the same size as this, right? See the line? It's a lot longer. This one's shorter, okay? To make them equal, if I had 2 of these, it would be the same size. If this is half, this is double. So if I had 2 of those, now it's equal. And this is the way you'd set this up. But understanding what multiplication does, if I need 2 of something, I just do times 2. And it gives me the answer. Okay? So here we have just a few examples. There's a lot more examples that we could give on this. Just a few examples of why multiplication and division are important in geometry. On the next few pages, you're going to have some IXL assignments. IXL assignments are going to be lower level, and they're just going to be some practice with some multiplying and dividing. I want to encourage you to try to do some of it without your calculator. There's not any problems that are very big, okay? But try to do this without your calculator. Just give it a shot. Try to do it. If you're trying to remember how to multiply, if say there's double-digit numbers, so let's say it was 35 times 12. If I said multiply this, have you forgotten how to do this? Remember what you do is you take the 2 times both these numbers first. So I'm going to do 2 times 5 is 10. That 1 carries over here. 2 times 3 is 6, plus that 1 is 7. So the 2 times 35 is 70. When you go to multiply the 1 times this, remember this, since this 1 is in the tens spot, I have to put a 0 down here before I even start. Now let's multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. That little carried over 1 was from before. 1 times 3 is 3. Nothing to add on to it. And then we add those 2 up. 0. 5 plus 7 is 12. Carry a 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. So 35 times 12 is 420. But if you get stuck with the multiplying, it's okay. Especially with the dividing. If you get stuck on the dividing, that's fine. You can use your calculator in this, but try doing it without your calculator. See if you remember how to do it. After you get done with the IXL, there's a little assessment, a little formative assessment, and it's going to be, again, in Desmos, which I know you're familiar with using. The Desmos, you will be able to make corrections as you go and help you get through to the end. So let me know how it goes. I hope it's helpful. I hope that you learn how to do it. If you get stuck along the way, come see Mr. Harmlin.